Right. So I think is truly also remarkable about this story is when you hear about a lot of companies that are bootstrapped today, lots of them are not based in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
You know, you hear about companies, you know, we get pitches about, you know, Cover My Company that's based in Chicago. We don't even know what a venture capitalist is.
Right.
You know, aren't we fascinating? I'm just curious if the geography was, you know, a player here. I mean, obviously you probably know VCs. It's not like you didn't know where to find them, and you know,
right.
your company was in Palo Alto, right? So
Yep.
I mean, it's not like you didn't know where to find them.
Right.
To what extent do you think that it was harder to not raise venture capital just being in this community?
Well,
in
it's
this world?
really expensive. But one of the things that it forced us to do is get really creative about you know, real estate. We have our first direct lease with a landlord today.
Yeah.
In our entire history. It forces you to get really creative about furnishing your spaces, how to find people, how to identify untapped pools of talent, because it is expensive here. But the other thing is, early on, we were really, it really makes you focus. When it's an expensive area, it makes you focus on products that your customers love. And that is a great way to get really successful, because I mean, it is so clearly your lifeline. I think when you have more resources, it's easier to get somewhat disconnected from that, because you have a runway, right? But it's like whether you're going to make payroll depends on whether you're delivering great products and services. So it made us it's so clear in our focus.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about, so then, you know, you're 2001, 2011, you have a decade of being bootstrapped. What changed in 2011? By that point you'd been, you know, you'd existed for 10 years. Was the process easier because, you know, you weren't, you know, just out of Y Combinator and looking for
we got
money?
something like 5 term sheets from some of the top investors in different categories of investors. I mean, if you're out there and you're constantly pitching, and it's really hard. I mean, it was not difficult. I mean, we put up our slide of customers, we put up our retention rate, we put out our expansion rate, and you know, and we really had a lot of choices. And so that's another reason that it's a really great thing.
And what caused you to change your mind? I mean, it had been 10 years. You had.
We felt at that moment that if we didn't grow faster, if we grew organically, the market was going to grow much faster, and we wouldn't be able to like seize that market because social media was driving up the demand for our product.
Right, and that wasn't true in 2006, 2008.
No. I mean, you have the iPhone coming in, what, 2008? I mean, like, all this stuff really started to come into being in, you know, 2010, 2011. So that was perfect timing for us. Yeah.
And so did you felt like there was an opportunity cost to not taking cash?
Absolutely.
That there would be some other company that would you know, take those term sheets?
You know, and you know, nature hates a vacuum. If we didn't go for it, then somebody else would. So.
Right. Did the money change your business at all? I mean, did it when you, obviously, you know, you now have, you know, you were wired some money, you know, one day that you didn't have the previous day. I understand, and I hear a lot of founders talk about the discipline that is instilled by not taking venture early on. I guess I'm asking, is that accurate that money does affect your discipline?
In our case,
or do you think because you had 10 years of like really not being lazy about financial decisions that it made it easier to take the money?
I think it was
well?
both. I think if it's ingrained in you, I mean, we just moved into a brand new office space, and I'm still scouring like consignment stores for furniture for parts of it. It's driving the designers crazy.
Yeah.
So that's part of like that sort of bootstrap background. But if one of the things I look back on that I might have done differently, I think we would have built out maybe our finance team a little bit faster and put in place controls for that, you know, I think map better with our really quick growth, because when you have the money in the bank and you're growing like that, I think there was some erosion of some of that early discipline.
There was some.
There was some. And not entirely, but there was some, yeah.
And that's just, is there anything you regret you wish you'd done differently, or is that just kind
Spent less money on travel.
Spent less money on travel. Is that just the nature of having money? I mean, the fact that when there's something in the bank, it's a human kind of impulse to want to
I
spend
think it's a combination of that and the pace of our growth. And what we took the money to do was to build out, to accelerate our product roadmap and to build out our, a real sort of enterprise grade sales team. And then you've just got a lot of people out there traveling, whatever. I mean, there's just a lot of, so we just needed, at the same time that we were doing that, it would have behooved us to put more, finance people in place at the same time to make sure our financial controls, excuse me, were keeping pace with the growth and yeah.